Good evening, third graders. So we are on the Fairy Swarm. We are reading Chapter 3, Another Secret. Ben and his grandfather, Abe Silverstein, were walking down the front steps of the Buttonville Synagogue. "Hi, Pearl," Ben called with a wave. Both he and his grandfather were each wearing a blue yarmulke, a small flat hat on the crown of their heads. "Hello, Pearl," Grandpa Abe said. His eyes twinkled beneath his bushy gray eyebrows. Despite the warm summer weather, he'd buttoned his wool cardigan all the way up to his chin. "What a nice Shabbat service. Why don't you join us next week for Kiddush?" "For what?" Pearl asked. It's like snack time after service when we get the blessings over the bread and the grape juice," Ben explained. "Sure, that sounds nice." Pearl held up the salt shaker behind her back. Can I borrow Ben, please?" "Off to another adventure?" Grandpa Abe asked. Pearl nodded. "All right, already. You kids go have fun." Ben took off his yarmulke and handed it to his grandfather. "But remember, boy chick, I need your help later at the senior center. You've got to set up for pudding day." He ruffled Ben's hair. Then, with his cane tapping the sidewalk, Grandpa Abe ambled toward his old Cadillac. "So, question. What happened the last time Ben and Pearl were at the senior center on pudding day? Can you tell your parents what happened on that day? Do you remember in the very first book what happened?" Pearl grabbed Ben's arm and hurriedly led him around back, where an alley ran between the synagogue and the Buttonville bakery. The scent of cinnamon wafted from the bakery's open window. "Look!" She shoved the salt shaker in his face. "I caught her at the diner." So here's the picture. "Her?" Ben scratched his head. "Yes, I think it's a her. She's wearing a little dress." "A dress?" Ben pressed his nose against the glass, going cross-eyed as he stared at the tiny creature. The fairy folded her arms and stuck her tongue out at him. He gasped, "Whoa! Is that a—" "Yep," Pearl smiled so big the gap between her teeth showed. So here's the fairy, sticking her tongue out at Ben. They'd shared this sort of moment before, discovering the dragon hatchling, finding the Sasquatch, and encountering Metalmouth. But no matter how many creatures she met, the thrill, excitement, and awe had never gone away. And no matter how many secrets she and Ben shared, they'd never broken the contract of secrecy. "Where'd you find her?" Ben asked. "She was flying around the diner. She ate part of my pancake." So I want you to think back from what you know about fairies. Why did she want part of that pancake? What was on that pancake that fairies would want to eat? So remember, they really like sugar. The fairy shook her fist at them. We can't let her out," Pearl told him. "It's against the rules for imaginary creatures to leave Dr. Wu's hospital." Pearl and Ben had learned this rule back when the Sasquatch escaped. The fairy stomped her foot and started yelling again. She seemed super angry. "If she came to Buttonville to see Dr. Wu, that might mean she's sick," Ben said. "We'd better take her to the hospital." "Now?" Pearl asked sadly. "Yes, now. What else would we do?" "Well, I was kind of hoping I could keep her for a little while." Pearl hugged the salt shaker to her chest. Ben frowned. "You can't be serious." But Pearl was serious. She loved fairies. Ever since her very first day at as Dr. Wu's apprentice, she'd been hoping to meet a fairy, and now she had one in her hands. The fairy didn't seem happy about being trapped, lost my place. But Pearl was confident that once they got to know each other, they would become best friends. And besides, she'd done a really good job taking care of Lemonface, her pet parakeet. Surely she could take care of a fairy. Always the voice of reason, Ben put a hand on Pearl's shoulder. What if she needs medicine? What if Dr. Wu's worried about looking for her? But, Pearl sighed, as much as she wanted to keep the creature, she didn't want to be responsible for a fairy not getting her medicine. Drat, she said softly. I hate it when you're right. All right, chapter 4 tomorrow. No One Home.